Episodes for a show called Billions and like Succession. I did some of them for Power Book 2, Book 3, Book 4, Book 5, like all those different shows. Um, a subscriber reached out to me and mentioned Kanan Season 2 was back and that they enjoyed my random insights and wanted to know if I would do some more. So here we go. I'm going to try to get Season 2 covered here. I liked all the Power series. Team Ghost. Tree can catch some hot ones at some point here. It'd be nice, even though I am liking them in Power Book 2. Hate to even admit that. But, let's cover some stuff from this first episode. It looks like we're about 5 episodes in from what I saw on demand here. So, it's going to take me a little while to catch up. 50 in the opening sequence here is talking about he didn't know anybody, in his neighborhood that had vacation homes. That's where I came from. There was no one that had a vacation home. Maybe someone took their tax return cash and maybe got like a jet ski or something. Everyone worked on their like hot rod type cars if they had one. There's no one around us that had second homes. As I got into my 20s, early 20s, and you got around people that actually had some kind of money, not even a lot of money, just some kind of money. You started to hear about, I was at, my parents' summer house, and this wasn't what was going on in our hood. And he talked about, there were no breaks. It's steady grinding, and that's a working class lifestyle. Or if you're on the streets like he was, it's what are you talking about breaks? There's no paid vacation time here, right? It's you got to keep moving, and if you're not moving, someone else is moving and taking your shit. So yeah, pretty good opening line. Kanan moving down to, I think, Virginia, down where the beach was there. They're talking about, I forgot who it was, that he could have enrolled in school down there and kind of ran away from his problems. My thing with that is, your problems they follow you. And most of the people that are running away from problems, they usually just get to the next destination and cause more problems. And I talk about that a lot. I have a couple new shows that are getting launched on a portal. I have my own show, or it's be 2 shows on there. But I talk a lot about like job hopping, and we always seem to hate our employer, so we go to the next thing. We're always running away from something. We're never running towards something. And we go to the next place, and that turns out to be bad. And we run to the next place, and that turns out to be bad. And this thought that the grass is always greener, maybe it is, until you get there and kill it. And a lot of the times that the people that are constantly running away, they don't realize that they're the ones that are just, you're causing the toxic environment, and that's what's making you run to the next thing. And you get there, and you turn your life into hell there, so you run to the next place and the next place. And either your problems are following you, they're never gone, or you just keep creating new problems. It's perpetual. Man, it's a miserable life. I knew quite a few people like that that literally bounced around the country trying to run away from problems, and those problems either found them or they created new ones, and it didn't end up well for them. What else we get? Detective Howard is, it looks like he's alive. The miracle recovery here. And I think they said he had cancer and a bullet hole in the middle of his chest. Somehow walks out of there. No memory, it seems. I have a feeling he knows, though. I don't know if that's all a ploy. We'll see. But you're talking about having the dude having a hole in his chest, and it reminds me of Omar from The Wire. He's staring down Brother Mazone, and I forgot what pistol he had. I don't know if he had a 50 cal or a 44 or something. And Omar is like, even if I miss, I can't miss. And in this case, Kanan needed a bigger pistol because he didn't miss, and he still missed because that dude's still alive. He needed a bigger gun or something. Now, one of my notes here, episode just moving slow, and that first episode of the seasons are often slow. Seems to be a trend that the last episode of shows these days, they try to like make it really slow and emotional. I know they're trying to set up plot for the next season. I don't like slow. Like, I don't think we're as any of us watching this stuff for slow. I mean, we want the story, but I think we want some action too. There was a part where they were going into the building that kind of reminded me of the Carter. I think it's like crack is whack. There's like graffiti on the ground. And I think back, my time, I was growing up late 80s and then 90s, the best time for like music in my mind. But, the crack was going on. Our neighborhood, there's like, acid, you heard of like heroin, that type of stuff. Think about how things progressed over the years. That kind of, heroin took a big, that dug deep into society, and then it was meth. And now it's like all this talk of fentanyl. And it's crazy because when you read about how, someone could be patting you down and just, brush up against some fentanyl and it can almost kill you or kill you. Like that's science and technology for you. We're at a place where we have created drugs so powerful that if your skin barely touches it, you're probably going to die. It's like, where the hell are we going to be in like 10 years from now? Like, we can just create drugs that one speck is so powerful, it just kills you. Man, drugs are on a whole new level these days, and it's crazy is when it's that powerful, you could probably have something the size of like a Hershey's candy bar that would be strong enough to get a city of 100,000 people high. Like, man, where are we going to be in a decade? Are we going to be in a better place? I forgot. I had Ballers. What was that on HBO or Showtime? Playing in the background a few weeks ago, and then as soon as I started season 2 here, Raising Kanan, Marvin popped up, and I think his name's London Brown in real life. I love him as an actor. His voice is unique. I like his personality. So it's like one of those people that enjoying seeing him on the show. Man, a lot of boom bap beats. If you're a hip hop or producer, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of boom bap beats in this episode, probably in this series. I don't remember a whole lot from season 1. Like, they did the intro, like the going back and showing you parts of season 1. I hardly remember any season 1. So maybe the music was like that in season 1, but a lot of great boom bap beats. Takes you back to a time when music was just different. Probably my favorite era of music. But good stuff. Not that I don't mind some, banging 808s and all the stuff going on. Just that classic boom bap that's my stuff. What else we got? They're in that building talking about moving 75K a day and like having to like mop the stairs because they smell like piss. And instant like deja vu of New Jack City and the Carter. I want to go back and rewatch that. And then later on, they were talking about getting another building with lookouts, and it's very reminiscent of New Jack City. So I'm probably going to throw that on for background noise here. What was the guy's name? Scrappy? Maybe it's Scrappy. The guy that bets a lot. I might have forgot his name here. But when they were doing the over and under bet on the McDonald's fries, about how many fries are in a large, I was cracking up because I eat those things so fast, you would have never gotten a chance to count them. I throw an extra pack of salt on them and they're gone. Like, it's something about McDonald's fries. There's not, you ain't going to have time to count those things. Like, I'm going to inhale them. What else we got here? Kanan starts having doubts about whether or not he's cut out for the family business. And at the end of the episode, he does talk about how it's messing up his head. And, look, man, I sometimes you just gotta like spread your wings and fly. You go out and stake your own claim, and why is that so bad? Sometimes it's better to stick around with your family and do the family business, and other times it's like I just don't want to be in the family business. I knew people, or I ran into people that their family had $100-200 million businesses, and they had an opportunity to climb the ladder and take it over one day, and they didn't. They wouldn't become a veterinarian. It's just they didn't want to do the family business. They had their own dreams. They went out and staked their own claim, and I think that's a big thing today. We don't Hell, if you look at the recent reports on young men in general in their 20s, Prof G was just talking about this. There's data everywhere where, hell, by the time you're in your early 20s, if you go back 50, 60 years ago, you would have, already went out, got a job, got a place to live, probably met someone to marry and procreate with and have kids. And by your mid 20s, you already had this life that's going. And now dudes are 26, 28, or even 30 years old, and they're still living at home. And they've not went out and staked their own claim. So I'm going to do some more content on that because it's part of a book I have coming out that talks about kind of reclaiming life in your 30s and 40s, where you know world's is different right now, and I think a lot of where we're at is we're just not getting moving anymore. So I got this thing where it says like, man, when I was 18, 19, I got out. I got some money and I moved as far as away that I could from where I was. I left everyone behind. Friends, family, other than my father, gone. I'm just gone. I'm gonna go make new friends. I'm gonna get in a new environment, and I went from our place south of Detroit to the wealthy area, and then surrounded myself with different people. It's all I could think about at 18, 19 years old was just getting out on my own. And I don't know. Listening to the Kanan, I'm just thinking, man, just go stake your own claim, and I think that's what he ends up doing, right? What else we got here? In the studio, dude, what's his name? I'm missing all the names already. Lulu. Just talking about when you have to cut your losses. And man, we do that with friends, with family, with investments. It's sunk loss. We keep sinking money into things because it's like, oh, I got 10 grand into this thing and I got to get it back out. So you put 10 more in and now you're 20 in, and you don't realize that you're never getting it back. You can spend 50 and you're not getting any of it back. The only thing is, instead of being down 10, you're going to be down 50. When my dad loves the casino. When I don't even enjoy gambling that much. When I do, I play something. As soon as I get up, you walk away. Because at the end of the day, you stay at the table long enough, you're gonna lose, right? And then when you start losing and you start chasing it, which I never let myself get in that position. Here's $100, I'm gonna blow it, and if I'm down, and you walk away, I'm gonna go find the buffet and find a whiskey. You can't be down 100 and think I'm gonna keep gambling until I get my money back. That's how you end up down 500. Everything in life, there's friends that are liabilities. There's family that are liabilities. There's things that you pour money into, or time that you're just never going to get any value out of it. You gotta cut it loose, man. So that was a good line. What else do we have? All right, so mom at the end saying, "Everything I do for you." That's like the biggest line of bullshit that anytime anyone ever said that to me in my life, I may have not knew it at the time because I was too young and stupid, but then you realize that that's code word for I'm doing something for myself. And it's just misdirection and disguised as, I'm doing it all for you. No, you're not. What a pile of BS does that end up becoming? And, yeah, she was protecting herself and her family, but look at what it did to him. I'm big on it's parents' jobs to protect their kids at all costs, right? It's to never put them into compromising positions. Somewhere along the way, I just think we've lost that. I don't know what it is anymore. We put our kids into positions that allow things to happen that should never happen. You're supposed to protect your kids, at all times, at all costs. And does society really do that en masse anymore? I don't think so. What else we got? I love when 50 does a narration. He does it at the end here, and gives his little insights. It reminds me of reading like the Robert Greene stuff or 50th Law with Robert Greene. But he just has that line about, they say that you only do 2 days in prison, the day you go in and the day you come out. And he's like, that sounds like some shit that someone who never been to prison said. And man, all day long, do you run into those people that all they're doing is repeating something else somebody else said, or something they read in a book, something they saw on an Instagram meme, or something they heard in a TikTok video. And you realize that they have no idea what the hell it is they're talking about. They're just repeating someone else's thought, who's repeating someone else's thought, that's repeating someone else's thought. I found it's funny. I found this out about sourdough bread, and there's all these like myths about baking bread, and you can't add the salt at this time. And there's a dude on YouTube that went through all the process and say we're just gonna debunk some of this stuff. And come to find out, you realize half of the BS about like making sourdough bread is BS. And all it was is someone that was a baker said something, who had a recipe published somewhere, and someone else read it, and someone else. You realize it's like 10 steps down the chain of people repeating this stuff, and it's wrong. That's life, right? You can call people on their BS all day long. Do you really know what you're talking about? Or are you just repeating the things that you heard that sound right to you? Sounding right and being right is just two different things, and I really like that line at the end about that. What else? And then, man, I forgot the guy's name. He gets out of jail. I think that was the rival, and 50's talking in the background. He had a good point. He's like, "Well, you were in jail. Everyone else has kept moving, and they've forgot about you, and." You got to remember, no matter what happens in life, the rest of the world keeps moving. It's people are making their moves, and they might be thinking about you for a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, and it's one of those things. It's even when people die, you're sitting around and it's like you're destroyed for a day, destroyed for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, and then slowly it just fades away, and then every once in a while they pop back up on your mind. Life's got us so busy with technology, trying to provide for ourselves, that, man, it's easy just to forget about people, dead or alive. And, while he's in jail, people kept moving. And 50's like, you got to come out and kind of remind them, who you are or who you were. And on my Instagram, it's still up there somewhere. It's one of my more popular quotes, and I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but it's something along the lines is, sometimes you got to remind people of who the F, you were. Because a lot of times it's like we change, and maybe we were somebody, 15 years ago. Maybe we were a little bit harder, a little bit rougher. We softened up a little bit. And then people often, mistake that softness for weakness. Or, maybe you're just more logical or more level-headed, and they just think you're soft. And sometimes you just got to go back and remind people, hey, mess around and find out. And then they find out, right? And it's just funny how perceptions of you can change when you're not around. And sometimes you just got to remind people, hey, I'm not one to be taken advantage of, or you might have forgot about me, but I'm back, and you're about to see what's up. So, anyways, that's all I got for the episode 1. I'm gonna try to get all the way through this season if time permits. I got 3 books I'm working on. I got a couple Spotify shows on top of everything else I do. But if I can crack one of these out in the morning, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna try to watch, Power Book 2. I got the Tommy one. I forgot about the Tommy one. A lot of good stuff going on, and I will continue to do Billions. Got one more season, and Succession. I like all that, New York money stuff. That's just as interesting as what's going on in the streets of New York. So, there's another show you want me to check out. Maybe there's a new show that I hardly have the TV on unless it's background noise. If there's some other new show out there you want me to check out and do an episode on or something, drop a comment below. Until then, I'll catch you on the next one.